What's up? What's up? Welcome to the Playbook. This is Doc, and then we have a very special episode indeed. I have a bunch of special guests with me. My wonderful wife, sweetie pie pudding, Dr. Uhuru Smith, who's been a guest before when we talked about cruises. Yeah, and then I have my two additional special guests from out of town. My sister Terry Ann Confair and her husband, my brother-in-law Steve Confair.
What's up?
And we are going to talk to you really quick about the Celebrity Xcel cruise we just did a few weeks back, a couple months back. So we also did it with it was 6 of us. It was my aunt and uncle, Gwen and Thomas Brock. They are actually in Atlanta. Shout out to Gwen and Thomas.
Shout out to the Brocks.
That's right. So we had a great time with all of it. It was, like I said, it was a celebrity cruise. We just wanted you got to kind of go over it and talk to you guys a little bit about it. You guys have met my wife Uhuru before. She actually did an episode. What was it we talked about? Was it the Icon of the Seas?
I think it was
the Icon, the Royal Caribbean Icon of the Seas. At the time, it was the largest ship in the world sailing. It still is, but now it has a sister ship, the Star of the Seas, and we're actually doing that in May with some friends. But with the 6 of us did the Celebrity Xcel, which was at the time the newest celebrity ship, and we actually did it the week of the inaugural sailing, I think, or within the month.
Within the month of the inaugural.
Might have been the second sailing. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Official sailing.
Right. Hey, Steve, I'm gonna make Steve. Steve, slide your mic a little bit the other way, because if you talk facing us, it's gonna have you. Yeah, you gotta. If you turn this way when you talk, then it's gonna. This is fun watching Steve adjust the mic.
Yeah, no.
Slide it over. Yeah, there you go. There you go.
This is a family edition. You got him out of his comfort zone.
Yeah,
so this is like a rare special thing.
So yeah,
I'm full disclosure. I'm like a total nerd. So I had my list of 7 items I wanted to at least cover, and then I think someone sabotaged me. Probably took my list. So I'm just gonna try to be flexible and go with the flow. You know what I'm saying, Dr. Smith.
Yeah. So. Both of them retired now. She's 3 years younger than me, ish, or something like that, from Department of Justice, an entity. But they're in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. They're visiting for a couple of weeks, which is nice to have them. But it's a couple of trivia things about my sister, which is kind of cool. She's done some pageant stuff, some Mrs. pageants, and she was like Mrs. What were you, Mrs. I don't want to name her.
Mrs. DC America. Mrs. Columbia Heights, DC America, and Mrs. DC International.
Oh,
yeah, thank you. And I'm currently, doing acting, modeling, voiceover work post DOJ life.
Yeah, and then the other thing is one of the other cool trivia things amongst many, because she was kind of significantly more introverted when she was younger, and then she kind of slowly but surely came out of her shell, and then there's no more introversion as an issue. But she also has a
shout out to the late bloomers and whatnot.
Yeah, those people, because I was not one. I think I was never shy ever. So I was the opposite of that my whole life. But she also kind of interesting enough, because I wasn't really into hockey, but for my people that are sports fans, and I'm into hockey now more because of her. She actually was a professional cheerleader for the Washington Capitals, and she actually has a Stanley Cup ring, which is really cool.
Yeah, I know. I didn't think to bring that and wear it, but yeah, thanks.
That's because you're not like all my other friends and associates or anybody who has any kind of championship ring. It's going to be right, exactly. Oh gosh, yeah. So even if they happen to be a doctor for the team or whatever, they're going to be rocking that thing like they're. There's a picture of Jerry Rice. We've done some charity stuff with the 49er Hall of Famers, and Jerry Rice. Every picture I have with him, he's got the ring in it. Right, yeah, but also one of her colleagues. So my wife, Uhuru, we have a charity foundation called the International Spine Foundation, which is kind of cool. We do some free spine cases, pro bono spine cases in the Dominican Republic, and our co-founder is Sam Joseph, Dr. Sam Joseph, and he is also the Buccaneers spine doctor. So when they won the Super Bowl, he got a ring, and so I believe I have a couple of pictures with him where he's flossing the ring as well, like she said, So, but yeah, so that and then
that'd be interesting to hear about some of your trips. I know that you've taken in that endeavor to help out with the.
I went over there last time.
Yeah,
kind
I
of
don't want to get
security.
off topic because then I'll just steer the conversation a different way. But yeah.
Yeah. And then we just did I just did a little post on social media about some shooting, because we did some shooting. Steve, my brother-in-law's a big gun guy. But he's a better shot than me. That's okay. I don't have a problem admitting that. He's actually done some cool stuff while we're here. We just came from another friend, Ed Smith and Shiloh Smith. He's a retired Air Force guy with special forces, and he's a PA, and he actually has a business called OVR, and it's actually like really really cool. We'll put some information in there. It's like basically, if you were in law enforcement, military law enforcement, you ever use the FAT system, the Firearm Action Training System? We used to do that at Quantico. I know Steve's used it before, DOJ stuff, Terry has as well. It's basically like a way you can go out and practice different scenarios without firing live, and sometimes with live rounds, depending on the system. But he actually has a business where you can do that with weapons that don't fire rounds, but they have the actual recoil and everything. Laser system where there's like literally thousands of scenarios, and we actually just came back from doing that. And like I said, I'll post some information. Actually, I'll try to do an episode with Ed before too long, just so we can actually kind of talk to you guys about it, But now back to the cruise. Okay, so
And since I don't have my list, I do remember at least the first thing on the list was talking about embarkation.
Well, that's good.
Which I
so let's
thought
talk
was
about
really
that.
smooth and a really nice process. No delays. We got on there. It was like lickety split, seamless. So.
Did you what about getting on the boat? Does anything? Now this is, like I said, again, just a reminder for you guys. It is the Celebrity Xcel, so it was their newest celebrity ship. Celebrity's sister company is Royal Caribbean, but the celebrity ships are smaller, a little bit more intimate, probably a little bit more of a low key, kind of a little bit classier. But that's not to say Royal Caribbean isn't classy, because Royal Caribbean is kind of the best total experience on the sea for everybody, I think, right now going. But this was, I will say, though, that, and we'll talk about pros and cons, but I will say that while Celebrity is a little bit of an older crowd, more mellow crowd, which this was the most mellow, oldest crowd I ever cruised with even on a Celebrity cruise ship.
That part, because that's what Steve kind of noticed, and even the trainers at the gym were saying that it was even more mellow before us, though. But it's definitely beyond grown and chill crowd. It was like really skewed older and more laid back. But I don't know if they're all like that, though.
They are like that-ish, but this was the most in that direction, of like the older, more mellow crowd. I don't know.
But real talk, like I had been on cruise years ago, but I was kind of off them because I'm not seafaring, and I can have some motion issues. So on the side note, like I always try to, I just started doing cruises again in 2025, and so we went on a cruise with our friends, the Woods. Shout out to the Woods. To the Mediterranean, where we went to Greece and Dubrovnik and Croatia. I won't even mention on the cruise line because we're talking about this specific ship and this specific cruise line.
We don't care. You can talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we went on a Virgin cruise then, and then we had this family cruise in November. So between our friends and our family, they got me cruising again. But I was definitely looking for the midship lower for a more stable option, which I fared really well on both these cruises, except for when I was spending too much time in the aft. At a restaurant or hanging out, and so, or an elliptical machine on the thing. That's a whole other story, but yeah. So embarkation smooth.
Yeah, I thought it was
crowd a little mellow,
So we'll just talk a little bit about the different classes. Like on Celebrity, we usually try to do this section called the retreat, and it is like a suite section that has like like little nicer rooms and whatever, and some of the other amenities. I think when you do the retreat, without getting all into the details of this particular, you actually get like Wi-Fi, drink package, and stuff like that is all included. But the biggest thing you get a lounge, you get a separate lounge that is open 24 hours that has like food and alcohol, snacks and alcohol, depending on what time of day it is, and like a bunch of other amenities and somebody who can help you, a concierge, a full-time assigned concierge. But the biggest part, and I think that you will probably agree with me, sweetie, is Lumine.
Lumine, yep, the
The
access
restaurant.
to the restaurant.
Yeah.
And in this particular scenario, because it was a family cruise, we didn't initially book the retreat, just because we wanted to make sure that we could spend time with all the family and everything. And we decided to go ahead and bid for it in the Move Up program.
Okay, yeah, this was the
Which is
first time we
another
ever did
aspect
that.
to try to
Yeah.
discuss real quick
Right.
as an
And
option.
right. And I didn't even think we were going to get it, but we actually did get it. But I will never do that again. And the reason is because although we got access to Luminae and to the retreat lounge, we didn't get the internet. And then we also didn't get the drink package.
Except for, like, we got a partial drink package, right?
If you went into the retreat lounge, you could order a cocktail there, but you didn't get the drink package otherwise. So by the time we paid for internet and by the time we paid for the drink package, we should have just paid for the retreat up front.
Right.
So they didn't really disclose that well, I felt like, in the disclosures, like when we went in to move up. And so I just don't think the move up for that particular option to go to retreat is really worth it. I wouldn't do that again.
Now, what she's saying is, like, a lot of cruises, like, this is the first time we cruised on Celebrity, and we didn't just book the retreat room, like she said, but because everybody else wasn't going to be on the retreat, we booked this thing where you can bid for an upgrade. And so you bid amount that's a little bit less than you would have paid for it if you'd have paid for it outright, and we actually got it. But what you did when you get it is there's some other things that you don't get with it that you normally would get if you booked it. And then when we did the math, it would have just been better for us to just book the room.
Correct.
But these guys got it. We'll tell you about the rest. These guys got a chance. So what we did is one night we went ahead and made sure we booked a dinner reservation for everybody to do the restaurant.
And that was
Luminae,
nice that
this-
they
it
let
was-
us do that.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was definitely a highlight as far as the dining goes. So if you really wanted the elevated dining option with the service and some of the entrees and options, that it was nice to have that dinner with you guys in Luminae for that.
Right.
Yeah, it was.
And then we got to
certainly-
see how the other half live, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. It was certainly elevated dining. I mean, it was a whole different experience compared to like the regular dining on the ship that we were doing throughout the week. I mean, it's not that it wasn't as, great food or anything like that, but it was definitely elevated, so it was really nice.
Right. Well, that's good. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, we basically, I thought that it was kind of, like she said, it was nice that they actually let you book it, to add people that aren't staying in the retreat to the restaurant so they can experience it. And I think that's good for their business as well. You know what I mean? Let's see. Also, all right, so
Just in general, the food, I know, Steve, you had some thoughts about the food. Tell us.
And so I'm going to tell you this, like Steve's has screwed me up now because I'm not a buffet guy anyway. Some of the cruise ships have better buffet sections than others, but Steve calls the buffet section the trough. And like now that's what I always call it, instead of the buffet, but I'm not a trough guy anyway. Like even when we do like the, Icon or something like that, or the Oasis class with Central Park, I will sooner go like sit at like Park Cafe and grab like a tuna, like a turkey sandwich, if I miss like a meal time, as opposed to going to the buffet a lot of times. Now, but they do, especially on Royal Caribbean, have some buffets where they have some really good Indian food and Mexican food and stuff like that, if you catch those specialty
Correct.
things.
I
But
don't know that I ate at the buffet at all. That's why I was interested to hear.
yeah, that's Steve. So what do you got to tell us
They
about
have a broad array of offerings, and they do offer some really good food there.
at the buffet on
Yeah.
at the trough on the Celebrity?
Yeah, I try to eat really well at home, and I read ingredients, and I'm always, trying to source things like grass-fed, minimal chemicals, blah, blah, blah. So you don't think about those kind of things, but I have a sweet tooth, which I don't buy that kind of stuff at home. But when I let the monster out, and then I'm looking to like go ahead and allow for those calories, I want really some good options, and I'm picky. So I will say, like the dessert situation, I had to search like the whole trip to find those pockets of the desserts that were really good, because I got sucked into some things that looked really pretty at a cafe or looked pretty at the trough,
They were like
And
French.
and then they were like
Yeah,
a
there
waste
were
of
a
calories.
lot of-
Like they were gorgeous looking, but they were like not.
yeah, I didn't find a lot of
there was
sweets I loved on there.
There was like finally like a cake or a particular it's like almost like a pastry type dessert from, I wish I remember the name of it, from probably like an Eastern like a Slavic or Eastern European country or something, that was really good, and some other like little cakes that I found finally, but it took me almost a whole cruise to get my dessert.
I
game
found
intact.
one dessert I liked, and I couldn't find it again.
And
Some
desserts,
kind of,
and that's
some
what
kind of brownie or chocolate.
I have a sweet
brownie
tooth.
or something.
And, but
yeah.
you remember, you found that croissant
It
that
was
was
through
like
that
huge
bizarre
giant.
thing.
Okay.
Oh, okay, but you can only so there's another benefit to Luminae, the restaurant, that the breakfast there, they have this croissant that is
Yeah.
like it's like frosted in some kind of icing, and it's filled with caramel. and it's like the best croissant I ever had in my life anywhere. And so I would try to get that every time I went to breakfast there. But so yeah, that's just another shout out to the
But the food
to the
was
retreat
generally
restaurant.
pretty good, though.
It was, but I will say this, and I think we talked about this. The hours for a couple of things, like the hours for some of the dining on this celebrity ship. Hopefully they work on that, because the restaurant in Lumine, we get up and work out every day just about on the ship.
Hold it down. I'm with that.
Yeah, and it was like only open like an hour and a half for breakfast.
It was closed, I think, like around 9:30, which,
Yeah, or 9. Like, it was either open 7:30 to 9 or,
Yeah,
or
so I mean-
7 to 9:30 or something like
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
that doesn't do anything for me.
So you basically, it was easy for you to miss breakfast in there, and then now you're at the trough. No, not really, but there's some other options, and also there's always room service, that you can order. But I think for a small,
In certain classes, you get the room service. I believe other ones you don't have that option.
okay,
I don't think so.
or no, it's just a cost associated with it.
Okay,
that
or
they
is it
included
extra
now.
okay.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay.
Did you go? What about the hours? Do you remember the hours or at the buffet? Was it the same?
I don't remember the exact hours, but they went a little later, like at least till between the 10 and 11 type thing, but I
Probably.
can't remember the exact hours.
Yeah, it's probably.
Somewhere in that.
It still had a
ballpark.
weird transition though, like when they were flipping over from lunch or from breakfast to lunch. Instead of like closing one area off and kind of switching it over, it was like they just closed it all down and then switched it over. So it was like if you got up there just a few minutes late, they would kind of close it down and that was it.
Yeah, I think they need to work on the hours of the dining in general on that particular. I don't remember that on other celebrity ships, so maybe it was something that was
unique to that.
unique to that one, or something they were trying out. But
Testing out.
celebrity, if you're listening to this, don't do that again. That's why I let you talk about the Virgin, because celebrity right now is not our sponsor. If they were our sponsor, then we wouldn't talk about Virgin and other people. But yeah. So that was it. So the shows were like we always rave about the shows on Royal Caribbean, because we like to go to Broadway and see stuff in New York, and we are big show people. You guys, and so
Absolutely.
the shows on Royal Caribbean are phenomenal. The shows on Celebrity are still very good. But I was feeling great one evening. I missed one of the headlining shows, and unfortunately, but like I think all the shows were
They were good. They
Really
The
were
ones that I
they
saw
kind of
were
very
good, and I think I took in a couple other shows than everybody here. One of them was a theme about music festivals and around the world. So they kind of took you around the world with the theme of the type of music, the genre of music, and the energy of different music festivals. And then another one was like these two were kind of vocalist focused. So like they had a really good lead vocalist on the ship, and they had some really nice stage effects, and they featured her with the dancing. So they kind of featured the dancers and the vocalists, you know what I mean? So I saw some really pretty good shows on there. Enjoyed the shows. The food overall was really good. Really low-key, mellow crowd. I love children. I've worked with children my entire life in some capacity, either like mentoring or, teaching or this or the other. And in prior, different things I've done, coaching. But I will tell you that I'm not big on children on vacation, right? I love them, but not on vacation. So we tend to go to a lot of adult-only, all-inclusive,
Same, yeah.
or like the Virgin thing. We really like the Virgin cruises because it's over 18 type of deal. But even so, on Celebrity, like there were just a few children, no goats, a few children, and basically they were the most well-behaved children I've ever been around,
Yeah.
and like that I can recall. You know what I mean?
And that was kind of the polar
So
opposite
it was
of
like who
the
I didn't
icon.
care, I didn't care.
Icon of the Seas. We're going to try to start a Seas, but if it's anything like that with the children, I will never do that class. Like we just did, we did a cruise with Ed and Noemi, my co-host, and his wife, and a couple other friends for our anniversary, Christmas, New Year's, and that was or New Year's in our anniversary, and that was on an Oasis class. So the Oasis of the Seas was the biggest ship sailing until the Icon came. So on the Oasis cruise ship on Royal Caribbean, they added Central Park, which we love, and then on the Icon class, they made Central Park bigger even. Every show, the experiences are great on those ships, but we found that like we just did, what was it, the Utopia we just did? We did another Oasis class, which is the one smaller than the Icon, but still with Central Park. and it seemed to have far less children. So the Icon, we're going to do the Star, which is a sister ship, equally as big. If the kids are that bad on there, I won't do it again. And if you guys look back to our Icon episode, I had some B-roll. So we met dancing salsa in DC when she was in med school, and I still dance a lot more than she does now because she has other hobbies. She stays busier. I'm retired, and she let me retire, and she's still kicking it, holding it down, you know. But like, we usually enjoy dancing salsa on the ships, right? There's usually good bands. There's usually, like, on Carnival, when we used to do Carnival, there used to be, what was it? Carnival was Havana Club on Carnival, and that's Boleros is on Royal Caribbean, right? Well, on Celebrity, there's not a Latin club because it's a smaller ship, but they will have, like, Latin nights and stuff like that. It was the worst. This is my only real negative on this ship. This was the worst Latin night I'd ever experienced on any ship. It was horrible. The DJ was horrible. At Latin night, he didn't take, and I'm not one of those people that tries to make requests to the DJ if you know what they're playing, but he basically did not play like
you're a music
salsa, merengue, bachata, cha-cha. He was playing like Latin pop and reggaeton.
Well, did he want your playlist or something?
And then he asked me to show him my playlist or something. Yeah, and I was like,
no, was he like profiling the brother or what? But like, all I'm telling you, he was Latin-esque. He was not. I don't know.
Oh no, he
was
was
with that.
He was from somewhere Eastern Europe. Yeah, he wasn't a Latin. He wasn't. It wasn't ethnically he wasn't, but he also.
It wasn't a good set. I'm saying as far as the music.
But like beyond that, he was just horrible. And then the problem about that is that like I said, just I put dude under the bus, you know, whatever, bro. He assumed that when I came to ask him to play a request, he's like, "Oh, this is Latin night," and I was like, "What did you think I was going to ask you to play?" and I was like, and you know, like he thought because I was a black guy, I was going to ask him to play hip hop or something. You know what I mean? I was like, "No," I was like, "Dude, I've been a dancer for 30 years, professionally for like almost a decade." I was like, "I know all the Latin songs that you haven't heard of," and then he saw us dancing, and he was kind of like, after that, he started asking me about my play backpedaled a little. He's like, "Oh, this guy's a real dancer," you know, and then he asked me something about my playlist, but. He was just bad. He was bad in other capacity too. It wasn't just his Latin DJ. He like.
And then when they brought the cruise director up, I remember this. They brought the cruise.
He had great energy.
Cruise director was great.
He was great. He had great
Celebrity
energy.
Xcel. I can't remember his name. I would give him a shout out,
but he was teaching these Latin dances that were like from the
It was
exercise
Zumba.
class.
It was
Oh,
Zumba.
yeah.
Zumba
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it was real basic. I may have been able to do it. Maybe.
We'll hold you to that next time.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I'll hold you to that.
Next time we're cruising with Steve, we're gonna get him
during the exercise class should not be what you do at the Latin
night at the Latin party.
Right, and I agree. As a segue, though, and you know, going to the activities and the things to do. Of course, my happy place is a spa, which ironically I didn't go to on this ship, so you might be able to talk about that because we can talk about that next. But I enjoyed going to the dance classes, and they had some like Caribbean theme and Latin theme dance exercise classes, and that's like my happy place. And I enjoy doing dance fitness classes and dance and that type of thing. So we like Ahura and I went on deck where they had the one. It was a great workout and great energy and great fun because that's where the people were. I found my tribe there. So like a couple of the ladies that were at the one we went onto on the deck. Then I found them at the one that was like the Jamaican or the other, you know, Caribbean rhythms type dance class. And then they were in the 80s pop class or whatever. So like there were some people with some really good energy and stuff that I found part of my tribe going to those things, and I always enjoy that. As far as the fitness center goes, fitness center was really nice. Steve and I ended up going to the stretching class a few evenings because we're physically active, but we don't take the time to do stretching like we should. Sometimes we'll do a stretch and mobility with one of my best friends, and also my person that I take classes with, and on Zoom, and she'll do stretch and mobility with us. But they had an evening stretch class, and we tried to catch that, so that was nice. The gym was really decent and stuff, and you could see even the show people and the staff working out in there.
I always meet a lot of the staff because the gym on cruise ships is kind of like New Year's Eve. You know, it's like the first day or two, everybody.
What's up with that?
Well, the first couple of days of the cruise ship, everybody's
like for the whole
I'm gonna
the
work
fitness
out
resolution, New Year's resolution.
And then like day 3, you can go in anytime you want. And it's gonna be chilled in there. And I ended up usually meeting a lot of the people that are in the shows because they regularly work out in there. So you brought up a thing about the spot, like Royal Caribbean, Celebrity, spas, and the massage therapists. I usually get 3-4 massages every cruise. The therapists are amazing. The spas are amazing. But what I will say, and shame on them for this, is like because we spa quite a bit, on land and otherwise. Any spa that you go to, land-based, if you get a massage, you get use of the spa facilities, like the hot tubs.
Yeah, which is a key point you mentioned. Is
On the
shortcoming,
on the celebrity ships now, unless you're in a spa suite, and the last couple times we did retreat, it was actually a spa suite as well. And our aunt and uncle, they were in a spa suite, a spa room, even though it wasn't a retreat thing. So you can use like the spa, the hot chairs, the sauna, the steam room, the whirlpool, whatever that's there, as part of your package. I think it was about $65 a day or somewhere around there, or 80, if you wanted to use that stuff, just to go to spend a day to use the stuff, not getting treatment. That you guys need to do better, because like the massages are going to be like the price of Ritz-Carlton, whatever. And if you go to the Ritz-Carlton and you get a massage, you can use the spa facilities that whole day because you got a treatment there. On these ships, unless you're in a spa suite or unless you pay for the spa day pass, even if you get a massage or something, you can't use the spa stuff, and that's not.
That kind of reeks of like a little bit of a money grab or something. Because same thing. I like spas, my happy place, dance, fitness classes, those types of things are my happy place. And I spa, like you said, where your own land at a resort or somewhere in your own whatever. Like if they have other amenities like that, usually they're included. And I'm not saying all the time, but that's the standard that I've encountered also. Okay, wait. Speaking of, so we covered food, we covered,
in all fairness on the food, we still went, they had, the 4 other restaurants that we would go to every night.
Oh, which was really nice that they have
Normandy,
these
Tuscany,
other
Cyprus,
standalone type
and
restaurants.
I forget what the
If you
last
don't want to
one
go
was. I
to
think
the
it was 4.
trough.
Right.
But they have great ambiance and good food and stuff at those too. So they have 4 core restaurants that you can go to. I think it was
Cosmopolitan,
it
maybe?
Normandy, Cosmopolitan.
Yeah.
What were the other couple?
Tuscany.
Tuscany, which
Cyprus.
is Italian theme, and Cyprus. Boom,
Cyprus.
there you go. Between the 4 of us, we'll remember them all. So but yeah, so those were nice, and they were pretty.
But I think we should have just went to one, because it didn't seem like there was much different.
There was
To
only
me,
slight
there was
menu variations.
variations enough to make me want to do my rounds, though, personally. But that's
Yeah.
just me.
Yeah, you can't, and that's the one thing I will say. If you do other cruises, you actually look at you have like the main, there's the buffet, but then there's the main dining room. You get assigned to a main dining room. And on Celebrity, like you guys are saying, there are 4 different like restaurants that are kind of themed that are the main dining. So you can choose any one of those 4,
And we could
which is
get in
kind of
when we
neat.
kind of wanted to get in, which was nice. You know what I
Right.
mean? It wasn't like, okay, it's hard for you to get in, they can't get you in, or you have to go jump through hoops. So the dining process was nice. Or if you wanted to go to one of the restaurants, it wasn't a drama getting in. I like that part.
And that's even with 6 of us, because we were doing seating for 6,
we were
and they
rolling
still
Right.
60,
were able to
yeah.
accommodate that relatively easy.
So we talked about getting on the ship being smooth. We talked about the food. We talked about the entertainment. We talked about, I want to talk about the bazaar, because that was one of my favorite sections and places. So, that before I get into the bazaar, like I think that we were talking about, you really like the LED screens and graphics and stuff like that.
The tech of the show.
The tech of the show, the tech of the
Or
ships.
even the ship in
like even when
general.
you're going into
Yeah.
the bazaar, like they have these great LED displays, and they change the theme depending on where you are in the Caribbean. So the emphasis could be, one Caribbean country or the other, and they'll change the graphics and also the offerings and the little shops and the little kiosk shops going in there. And the theme of the show back there, because they have this great open area with the entertainment and live entertainment. And then on the way you walk through, they have like a little it's like a little marketplace you walk through. But
Changing the themes is what made me unhappy, because that's
I
that's
like
where
that.
the dessert that I found was, and then they changed the
never
theme, and
mind,
that
never
dessert
mind,
never
never
showed
mind.
up again.
Okay, never
So,
mind.
but anyway, yeah. So there's that, and then the other thing is we didn't do many excursions, I think, on this one.
Oh, yeah, I want to talk about those.
Yeah, the excursion thing for me, we cruise enough where usually we just spa day when everybody else is getting off the ship, unless there's something special, or unless
And a lot
the
of
group
times
is
they'll
doing
offer
something.
you a little bit of a discount, correct? If you
Yeah,
book during a port day.
Port days, usually you get a discount. Now, the thing about that, again, the money grab you talk about, we usually do this thing where if you book 3 treatments, you get like a percentage off each one, right?
Okay.
So if you do that, it's usually not going to be a bigger discount by getting it on a port day.
Oh, because
Then, like,
that's a bigger discount with that particular offer
Because
than
if you book three
Yeah.
major, whatever primary treatments, each one is a percentage less than a predecessor, than a prior one. So yeah, but if you're only going to book a massage, if you're going to book one massage on a ship, then you should book it on a. If you're not getting off the boat that day, book it on a. That's a pro tip. Book it on a port day, because sea days, everybody's on the ship, so they're like less likely to offer any incentives, because everybody's gonna be there booking stuff up.
Yeah.
So I don't think we really got. I don't even remember where we went. We went to
did.
Where did we go?
Yeah,
We
St.
went
Martin,
to
St. Martin,
Thomas,
St.
I
Thomas.
thought.
U.S. Virgin Islands.
We went to St. Martin. We went to
Dominican
Martinique.
Republic.
Oh
we went
yeah.
To we went to DR. We went to Martinique, and then we went to. Oh no, we went to St. Martin.
St. Martin.
We went to St. Martin. We went to St. Martin, and then we went to the DR. Puerto Plata.
Yeah.
Puerto Plata, DR.
Yeah.
which
So I
was
just got off
Virgin
at
Islands.
St.
It was in
Martin.
Thomas, and then.
Because I know
Yeah,
somebody
St.
there in one of the jewelry stores. Yeah.
But I ended up, honestly, like anytime I go fly over vacation or go to a new country or something, I'm going to get out. So I'm going to take a bicycle tour. I'm going to do a walking tour. I'm going to do some kind of cultural experience or whatever. If I'm flying over somewhere in the city and I'm playing my own, what do you call it, travel agent, then I'll book my own, maybe even through TripAdvisor or something like that. I'll check out reviews and decide what, area of interest. But in this case, I always go with, when you're talking about something like a cruise situation, I always go with the official sanctioned tours,
Because they won't
I don't
leave
want to
you.
play that game, right?
Right.
As far as reputability, being on the up and up, and because of what you said, you know what I mean? I don't want to be like, okay, well, we got behind on the thing, and it's like, you're running down the pier.
Well, was it their ship or was it the one we just did with E and Noemi? There was I just had this discussion with somebody, and I don't remember. So it must have been that ship, and I said that's the reason I never do, unless you're just going right outside where the port, the shopping area outside the port. I never do something that's not sanctioned by the ship, because if something happens, the ship will leave you if you're on your own. It's sure enough. It was like a whole tour that got like tied up because some VIP thing that happened 45 minutes after the boat was supposed to leave, but it was a ship. And so
Okay, so
it was
it
actually a
didn't.
ship
And the guy, and then
the
one of the
ship.
guys I was talking to at the
Programs.
gym was like, "Yeah, I didn't. They didn't leave us because we were so happy because we almost went and did something on our own." But yeah, so that's another
Because
reason. Like
we
what you
have
said.
friends that use Viator like on a ship, and they were actually, when we went to the Mediterranean and we went to Mykonos, they got a tour, and we went to Croatia and Dubrovnik. They did some stuff they booked through Viator, and I was like, no, ma'am, I think I will just go ahead with the ship excursions.
No.
Even though at one point in time we actually crossed paths with them in Mykonos, but I didn't want to play that game. But as far as the excursions go, these are kind of, I think these were kind of.
That's a good point with that.
I didn't
though,
really- I would've-
because the
I didn't
difference
really-
that we saw, I believe, and correct me on this, was that like a lot of when we were on Virgin for those excursions, there was a lot of heavy walking. Whether you're walking around the wall and
On Virgin?
Dubrovnik, yeah. Where this you could tell was more skewed for people that were not going to be doing much walking at all.
I mean, we went into
Right.
some vistas and looked at some and saw some nice
Yeah.
views from the top of some, hills and on some islands, and I thought that was pretty. But I didn't really. These were probably like the weakest excursions I've been on, or ones that I enjoyed the least. And we actually encountered an adverse situation at DR where the celebrity cruise person gave a recommendation to go to a shop, and the shop ended up being a retailer that sold counterfeit merchandise,
That's right.
And,
That's
and,
right,
and
yeah.
I'm like, so you guys are working with this tour provider, and literally, we're going by your recommendation, thinking this guy is going to be legit. He's like, don't go to this place, go to that place. But then the one place that he recommended, it turned out to be some counterfeit merchandise, which was very frustrating. But I mean, that's a side note.
Yeah.
And then they were
That coulda
like,
happened
oh,
anywhere, but
well, yeah. Yeah, you're right. That can, exactly.
So I'm like you about so I used to do what she did. Like I'm at like 84 countries to travel now. So like whenever I've never been to a place,
I'm surprised you have track. I haven't been to a fraction of the ones that you have been, but I'm surprised you even kept track.
yeah, when I moved here, when I retired, I was at
Mongolia.
like 42. Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia, capital of Mongolia. That was one
You
of
brought
my.
me back a person from Mongolia.
Yeah, that's so. But yes, I mean, I don't necessarily do the excursions anymore if I've been there. You know what I mean? Like I want to
Yeah.
see the
No,
city if I
real
haven't seen
talk,
it.
that makes
But if
sense,
I've
yeah.
been there, and then so we just use in a lot of these ships you never really get a chance to enjoy. The ships are so nice and have so much detail and so much entertainment. If you're getting off, especially in the Icon, if 7-day cruise, 8-day cruise, if you're getting off on every you'll miss a third of what's on the ship that you may want to see. So
Yeah, and our aunt and uncle, it was their first cruise experience, so really it was a very nice choice for them.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was a new ship, really nice, really chill crowd. They had never been on a cruise before. My aunt had pretty much decided they weren't going to get off and do any excursions either. And because there was so much to do on the sea on the ship, like she and
think
this
he
other
did
guy
get
met, we
off
talking about
and-
like floating cities
and check it out.
yeah,
similar.
I know he got off at least take a photo and whatnot and check out the port side of
Yeah.
or whatever. But so it,
And a
it was
smaller
good.
ship
Yeah.
too, I think, which was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yet it didn't feel overcrowded though, and I
never
really
felt
like
overcrowded.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that aspect for sure. But it was honestly, for it being the first cruise for our aunt and uncle, and for us being on a family cruise, it was a new ship. It was a chill crowd. It was a really nice first cruise for them, and it turned out to be a good time with family, which was the goal, to spend time together. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. Speaking of family, spending time together. Normally I'm like usually a little more hyper, but like we've been playing hard. We've been going hard in paint this week. Like we have been in the pool. We have been doing simulations. We've been at the roller skating rink, roll bounce. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
that's right.
I got my first acupuncture experience here, like the Smiths with their fantastic doctor and Dr. Smith with fantastic.
Yeah, they've been spoiled. Or she's not,
Hospitality,
forget
and
it. You're not gonna
whatnot,
want to go back home.
But anyway, so yeah, normally I'm just like, but we just got home all late and we decided, yeah, let's crank out this episode. Let's talk about this.
Yeah, well, we had
celebrity
everybody
action,
together.
whatever, yeah.
So the last thing we talk about, I guess, we can wrap this up, is and everybody can, like, let's see my sweetie's blinking slow and everybody's disembarking. So normally there's a couple ways to get off the boat. Cool. Like again, I'm always shouting out for the sweet sections because it's you get on so smooth. When you could tell the difference. Like that's one of the bigger things. When you get off, it's kind of the same. Like you get off, they take your bags and you get off based on where your room is and whatever. But when you're in the suite section, you always get off. They take your bags and your bags are off the ship first, which is cool. But a lot of times, whether we were staying in a suite or not, what we would do is there's the self disembark where if you roll your own bags off, then you can just leave at like as soon as because, excuse me, I find that like I'm not going to enjoy hanging out on a ship the day we have to get off anyway because it feels so much pressure. So I'd rather just get off and then be on our way home, And so normally we actually take our own stuff off, but this time because we were with my aunt and uncle, we actually let them bring our stuff off, and it was still very smooth. So the disembarking was also very smooth. I think was your guys' experience the same getting off the
Yeah,
boat?
definitely. From what I remember, I don't even have any recollection of it. So it definitely was no hitches.
Right. Well, then that means it was probably good.
And the thing is, what I was going to say. Before we wrap, when we talk about the staterooms, and we can talk about any other amenities you wanted real quick. But like the stateroom, I really, really like the layout of the stateroom. Like I said, we had midship lower, so I think that put us on the floor with the 3,000 some type rooms, and it was really a great selection because it was near the main restaurants. Like you go one up or on your floor, or one down or something. It's like one floor off or on that floor. And then the other thing is, like my husband jokes and calls me a bag lady, and my aunt says I have a thing for bags, just like my other aunt, whose birthday was a couple weeks ago, her heavenly birthday, Aunt Patricia. Well, I do have a thing for bags, so I was like so excited that they gave me my little celebrity tote bag, and I was rocking that, the whole cruise, or whatever. But
I think we loved our room. The retreat rooms are always really good.
Really nice that we had.
Yeah, you had a
really
bathtub on a cruise ship. That's
Yeah, we
pretty
always try to
badass.
get a room where she.
And we didn't have a bathtub, but I love the space in the
Yeah,
bathroom.
you had a bathtub.
Yeah.
Oh, see, she doesn't even remember.
I
It
thought
wasn't
we
a
did.
big tub like the last suite.
But the way the bathroom was laid out, it was very spacious in our room, and the way that they had the organization for you to be able to
we had
put
a
your
tub.
toiletries and things. The bathroom was really spacious, laid out really nicely. The stateroom I really, really liked, and we went with the room category that had the ocean view window seat where you could kind of sit in the window. And I know Gwen and Thomas had that new feature where you have that.
It's like a sunroom.
It's like a
half
sun. It
window
like
thing,
cuts
it open
cuts
up?
out. It opens up.
Oh, yeah.
Like to give you that full spectrum. And you guys had a traditional balcony, right?
Yeah,
so
balcony.
we had like at least 3 different
we got
types
to
of
see all
rooms
3
to
rooms.
compare.
Yeah.
All 3
And
of them.
all
I
the
thought were
rooms
nice.
really nice. Ours was laid out really nice. The bathroom was spacious, and we really enjoyed that. So I don't know if there's any amenities or anything you wanted to talk about, or disembarkation was like
we just
really
want a bigger
smooth
closet. Like
and
we've had some the closet. Yeah, we had the last cruise we did the Celebrity. We had a walk-in. A little bit of a walk-in
That was
closet.
on the Royal Caribbean.
Okay, that was Royal Caribbean. Yeah, it was Royal Caribbean. And then the Celebrity, for the size of the room, because for it to be a suite, there's not really enough closet space. I know it's a cruise.
Yeah, but you're fashionista. I know you have to bring the pairs of shoes and the outfits and whatnot. I mean, I brought outfits, and I get grief about how much I pack, but like I'm not on his level with the game of the the changing and the fashion and whatnot.
Yeah, but they did a real nice job of setting your room up because it was like the birthday month.
Okay, I'm glad
So
you.
you had
and
champagne
because
for you and
between
stuff
you
because
guys,
we
you
all
guys
kind
dressed
of
to
met.
express, and you have a great
met at your
look
room.
going. But they did really nice touches because
They
it was his
did.
birthday month and whatnot.
And I was like, it's not my birthday's at the end of the month because we went on a cruise on my birthday and our anniversary and New Year's Eve, and she did a great job of hooking up everything on there for me for the anniversary stuff. It was pretty. The flowers is a flower, but like they did. Just because they have the information about my birthday month, like the room was decorated really nice and doors decorated. It was really cool. It was a big surprise because to both of us because she arranged it on the Utopia that we did on my birthday or anniversary, but they did it on this one, and it was just a complete surprise. So I actually thought she had done it because it was so kind of squared away. But then when I saw her, when she actually did it, I was like, oh no, this is what happens when my sweetie does it. It's really, now it's gangster. That's really gangster.
Yeah, we hadn't already planned and booked to go to Grenada for Christmas, which we had a fantastic time. We would have definitely seriously considered joining you since I was dabbling sticking my toes back in the
It was nice because I like to do stuff on our anniversary and New Year's, and that ends up being a lot of reservations and booking, and it was kind of like everything was there, and it was really nice.
That's the thing about cruises, though. Like even though I had gone on Carnival years before, 3 cruises, 2 of them with you guys and 1 with our friends Dan and Beth, and then after that I ended up going on. Years later we went on Virgin. And then this is my first celebrity cruise. Really enjoyed the stateroom. Oh, they have that magic carpet feature, which that's one of those things where it shifts from the top to the bottom. I wasn't on it when it moved or whatever. That's just a neat tech thing that they have. And also, we're supposed to go on a princess cruise, so I'll see how that is. To Japan,
people are going to be twice as old as on the Celebrity Watch.
Let
me know.
That'll be tough.
Look,
right? Yeah, right. Exactly.
I don't care how old you are chronologically. My whole thing
is
is
how old you are.
I'm like, I will always get older, but I'm never going to get old. And my whole thing is, you can be old at 20, or you can be old at 120, and you can be young at 16, or you can be young at 116.
Right.
So like I don't care what what ethnicity, what gender, what your whole thing is, or what your age is. Like if you're young at heart and you have a vivacious spirit and a zest for life, I'm there. But like if you're gonna be old or crusty, then like I don't know. I'm not discriminating or anything, but I'm saying like, and I don't care if you're 30 or if you're like 130. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, is there anything? I mean,
anybody forget anything?
I think that's kind of anything, sweetie.
Going once, going twice.
No.
You got it.
All right. Well, thank you.
Bring us home,
thank
man.
you guys
Bring us
for tuning into the Playbook, and if you hit us up and let us know if you have any questions, comments, or anything about any cruises, but specifically the Celebrity Xcel or any other ships we've been on. We definitely have to get these guys on one of the bigger Royal Caribbean ships, just because there's absent the children running around like crazy. There's just kind of, it's like such a cool city on the ocean with so much to do, so many unique things to do. That's always worth doing. But this was really fantastic. Celebrity, did a great job. Like I said, this, the DJ wasn't my favorite, but other than that, we had a really, really great,
it was a
That's an easy fix.
good time and nice.
Get the guy. What's your boy's name?
DJ Irie.
Irie. There you go. Shout out to when this guy used to do all the music for Carnival, and he actually was on a couple. His name Irie. This dude was beast mode, like everything, and that was the kind of thing because you like to dance too. even it wasn't just a lack of Latin thing. It was like even on the other nights, like most of the other cruise ships, you have like a Michael Jackson night, a '90s night, they just didn't do a good job of having you in the club. The club thing wasn't vibing. It wasn't vibing because I mean it's but it wasn't. We'll give we're not giving up on Celebrity, but that I'm giving up on that DJ. So anyway,
Yeah, hopefully we touched on some points and things, even though I didn't have my list. I think somebody hit it, but I'm not going to point fingers or make any false accusations or anything. But anyway.
oh wait, I think Loki, my cat did.
Oh my gosh! Yeah.
Loki knew it was going to be. So anyway, you guys, thanks for tuning in on a Playbook. Thank you guys for joining us, Steve,
thanks for
Terry.
having us.
Yeah, my pleasure.
And then we'll catch you guys next time on a Playbook. Thanks for.
Bye.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. Like and subscribe, whatever that sign is.
Now, you're going to close out with a little dance or something, won't you?
No,
No.
that's it.
No.
Not today. Not today.